Today's trade recap is going to be all about belief in the system. I'm going to explain to you my Euro AUD long position today that put a little bit of profit in my pocket, but not as much as I thought it would have. So we're going to break down what I liked about the trade, what I didn't like about the trade, and why I decided to close this thing as the afternoon developed for a small profit. So if you're new to the channel, I appreciate you being here. Do me a favor, make sure you hit the red subscribe button below me, and let's get into the trade recap. Like I said, welcome back everybody. My name is Austin Silver. For those of you who are new to the channel, new to my videos, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you checking out my feed. Do me a favor, hit the red subscribe button below me, join the team, join the family. That way you don't miss any of the trading content that I'm constantly creating for you and the rest of the trading community. Now, today we are talking about a small win on Euro AUD. So I want to break down the entire trade for you guys, start to finish, so you can understand why I decided to close this thing late in the afternoon here on Thursday, October 17th. So you can see the P&L in front of you. My entry price is $62.95. Exit price 63.01, just about 6 pips in profit. So it was a small win. Now, I didn't have a lot of risk on this trade to begin with. We're going to start there because we always have to start with risk, right? Before we can talk about potential reward. But when I flip to TradingView here, you can see from the point of my entry, which was right here, this second vertical purple line, from the point of my entry, this thing has not moved. You can see it kind of pulled me down a little bit, but then really just chopped sideways up 5 pips, up 10 pips, up 9 pips, just really was sideways all day. Now, what I want to drive home first with this trade is I believe the reason why it hasn't moved much from my entry point is because over everything else, this maxed out its average daily range before I entered the trade. Now, there's a green horizontal line up here and a green horizontal line down here. Each day, this is an indicator that I use on TradingView. Each day, these two lines present showing me the average that this pair could go on the basis of the past 5 days. Now, this is an indicator. It's called the ASFX ADR tool. You can search it right here in indicators. If you just come up here and type in ASFX ADR tool, it'll pop up. I have it saved right here in my favorites, and it'll be by me, Austin Silver FX. You can add this right in, and it'll put the two lines on your chart for you. Now, this tool today, I was aware of it, and I think it helped me close the trade in profit. And that's why I want to share it with you guys. I think we can go over, which we're going to do in a second, another example from yesterday with these ADR lines where I was actually able to trade right to the ADR line and maximize the profit because of this just simple indicator. Now, people will say indicators don't work, and this is just math. We're just talking about logic, right? Think about it. If it's an average daily range, that means it's adding up how high, how far a pair goes over the last, let's just say 5 days, right? That gives you an average of what it should do today. Now, of course, there are going to be days where it blows through average daily range, doesn't even care about it, and you'll see that happening. You'll leave money out there. But in reality, you want to stick within the average daily range. So when you find trade setups, for example, like this one, where ADR, average daily range, is maxed out, you got to be aware that you might get stuck in something that doesn't really move because it's already moved what it normally does over the last 5 days. So here, taking my entry after we touched the ADR high and the ADR low line, after we touch both lines, that means we're maxed out. Here, me taking the trade 3 hours later, after it really hadn't moved much from then, I was maybe expecting a little too much here, thinking it would pop. Now, let me take it to the 5 minute and show you what I really liked and why I took the entry this morning. So if we look at the divergence building from 4:20, 5:15, all the way through the morning, you can see that price action as the RSI was rising was falling. That created what possibly could lead to a reversal. Here, the break of the 50 EMA the first time got me interested. I was like, okay, we broke the 50, we're holding the divergence, I see the support zone at the bottom, maybe we can move higher. But I didn't enter the trade right away here at 8:10. I sat patient because I knew that I'd want to see it really support this low, really, hold price action up at 62.92. And it did that. So when it broke back above the 50, retested the 50 again here, and then again, for the second time, came higher off the 50. This was like 9:30, 9:35. That's when I finally got in the trade. So notice my patience to get in here. I saw the entry at 8:10, but I waited till 9:35 to take the position. Now, these are not the traditional entries that I teach in the ASFX system. This is a course that I'm going to be putting out probably early 2020 that teaches this divergence signal. This signal is not the same as the ASFX signal, where every single time you see it, more often than not, it's going to take off into profit. These trades sometimes you actually have to deal with some patience. You actually have to be able to sit through the trade and let it build. So when I saw the breakout, I was like, look, I don't need to rush into it. Let me let it build. And I did that. And when it still made me think that I was going to leave money on the table, and I couldn't find a reason not to take it because it met the signal, and it still made me think I was going to leave money on the table, that's when I got in. And as you can see, it really didn't move much today. Now, what I was using to kind of guide me here, because if you look at the 15-minute, you'll see the trend was not great, right? We were trading underneath the 800 EMA up towards the 800 EMA, where we know sometimes, and you've heard me say this, that as these EMAs come together, price action will come sideways. It will kind of come into consolidation, into reset, right? And you'll see this TDI kind of pull up towards the stationary 50 as well. So in a situation like this is not a trending trade. This is not a beautiful, in trend move. It's counter trend. It's kind of in reset, and ADR was maxed out. So the fact that I hadn't moved for 4, 5, almost 6 hours, I was content to just say, let me take the 6 pip win right here. I was out at 63.01. Like I said, the highest I got was 63.09. So maybe I left 8 pips out there. Big deal, right? Just take the win and move on. So I started the video by explaining and saying that the focus here was belief in the system. I want to drive that home now that I've explained the whole, analysis of the trade to you. Belief in the system means being okay with taking the 6 pip winner, or even if it was a loser, being okay with taking this trade for whatever outcome it is, putting it in the bag and moving on to the next one. Because when you believe in the system, you're able to take advantage of huge rips like this one here on GBP/NZD yesterday. Now this is a trade where, look, we can use those ADR lines, and there's a whole recap on this trade. I'll link it above. I put it up a couple days before. You'll be able to see the entire detail of that trade, but just talking about this briefly, when you're catching a move that's in trend, clearly in an uptrend, right? And you're using just the simple indicators that I do, the TDI to confirm that uptrend here, EMAs to confirm that uptrend, and then these ADR lines, you can see we hit the bottom ADR line, but look, it continued almost perfectly. It actually went a little higher than the average daily range, but it went right to that line that we could use for potential take profit. Now on this trade, if you watched the full recap, you saw with my second half of the position, I caught 168, I think it was 169, something like that, out of this trade. It goes 214 from my entry. An unbelievable rip. But using the ADR lines here, I was able to see the potential reward and measure the potential risk. Now if you flip back to just my Euro trade today, right? We were maxed out ADR. That risk reward potential wasn't there the same way. Now, where I was measuring my reward to was first this 800 EMA up here, which is why I have this yellow line here. Now, as you can see, it doesn't make it there. And the last point that I want to drive home with this is that I think overall, yeah, ADR was maxed out. That's a big thing. But overall, the reason why this trade does not work out as well as, for example, the GBP/NZD trade right here, the day before, could be pointed at one thing. It's trend. So you're trading in trend here on GBP/NZD, it works out beautifully. You're trading counter trend here, maxed out ADR, maxed average daily range. Counter trend, it's not going to be as clean. It's not going to work as well for you. So I'm taking the 6 pips and I'll be back tomorrow. So to sum this up with the belief in the system, you have to believe in the system enough to say, look, this is all I'm going to get today. I'm coming back tomorrow because I could find another big one like GBP/NZD. And that's why I'm here. So it's belief in the system to take the winners and move on to the next one. It's belief in the system to take the small losses and move on to the next one. I can't drive that home enough to you guys. And then just using the simple indicators, average daily range, the EMAs, the TDI, to say, look, this isn't an A setup, this is a B or a C setup because it doesn't meet 4 of my parameters on my checklist. So I see the risk, I see the reward, but I'm gonna size down and I'm not gonna put myself, in the line of fire to that extent because it isn't a great setup, right? So being able to measure the risk reward here and the risk reward yesterday on GBP/NZD, still make money on both trades to different extents, but still using the same knowledge, using the same system that we teach in our course. So a really solid week for me so far. You've seen all the recaps. It was Euro NZD, GBP/NZD, and now Euro AUD. 3 winners so far this week. The first 2 bigger than this one, but hopefully we continue the week profitable tomorrow. We wrap things up nicely on Friday the 18th. So I hope the video here helps you guys make better trading decisions going forward. I hope this kind of clears things up about how I do my analysis. And if you have any questions, as always, please drop a comment down below. Let me know you watched all the way through, everybody. As always, we got our little group that always watches till the end and they drop some comments for me. I appreciate it a lot. If you have any topics that you need me to cover, again, hit the comments below. I'm always here for you guys. I'm here for the people, and I'll see you guys in the next trading recap.